a property with loads of land. There's an uphill struggle as I show them round one house.
Not grabbing me, if I'm honest.
Sorry, it's still not selling me.
But later, they seem pleased by the selling points of the mystery property.
I've got my wine fridge, he's got his boys down.
Here I am in Wiltshire, and these are the Fovant badges. Now, during the First World War, the village of Fovant was home to a military camp for Allied troops leaving for the battlefields of northern France. In remembrance of their comrades that didn't return, the surviving soldiers carved these huge designs of their military badges in the hillside. Today, 8 of them, some over 50 metres across, are preserved as a powerful reminder of that time. Known as the gateway to the West Country, landlocked Wiltshire is bordered by 6 counties, including Somerset to the west and Berkshire and Hampshire to the east. It's a beautiful county of great diversity, covering an area of almost 2,200 square miles. Ancient landmarks range from the unmistakable site of prehistoric Stonehenge on Salisbury Plain to Old Sarum, the Iron Age hill fort 2 miles north of Salisbury, where the city's first cathedral once stood. Lying between Marlborough and Hungerford, the ancient Savernake forest has its origins in Norman times. It's also the place where Henry VIII met his 3rd wife, Jane Seymour, during a hunting visit to the estate. Much of North and West Wiltshire lies within the Cotswolds area of outstanding natural beauty. Villages here include Laycock, with its great abbey and other historic buildings, which are preserved reminders of how the area's wealth grew from the wool trade during the late Middle Ages. Wiltshire's beautiful countryside can come at a cost. The average price of a detached property currently stands at just under £292,000. Now that's around £35,000 above the national figure. What's more, around hot spots such as Marlborough and the southern Cotswolds villages, you might expect to pay a premium of up to 20%. Mind you, if you head south of the county, you'll find you get more for your money. But wherever you're looking, rest assured Wiltshire is full of different architectural styles that reflect its rich heritage. Across the county, there are some fine examples of historic whitewashed and thatched properties. This 3-bedroom Grade 2 listed house on the edge of the village of Lockeridge was originally 3 cottages. It dates back to the 18th century and is priced at £570,000. Much of the north and west of the county falls within the Cotswolds, which is characterised by the region's distinctive honey-coloured limestone. This 4-bedroom stone house in the village of Savernake is on the market at £350,000. Towards the east of the county, particularly around the market town of Marlborough, the mellow Cotswold stone gives way to red brick, which was used in Georgian and Victorian properties. Here, a 3-bedroom whitewashed brick terrace cottage will cost you £295,000. But what are today's buyers after? Let's meet them and find out. Married couple Will, an oil broker, and Mel, an estate agent office manager, have been living in their 4-bedroom house in the London district of Fulham for 8 years. But they're already part-time country dwellers, spending every weekend with family and friends out of the city.
I was born in Wales, wanted to come out of London within 5 years of moving to London. 20 years on, I'm still here, so I think it is now time to move.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment we're doing the sort of commute to either Wales or Staffordshire every Friday night, and it's just got to that stage when we thought it's pointless, we need to get out so we don't have to do that, and then we're down in the country and raring to go, really. But I think one thing that sort of excites me is sort of getting slightly nearer to my parents and my sisters and things like that.
And doing your veg.
And potentially having a veg garden, yes,
Yeah.
Will, absolutely.
Living a shorter distance from Mel's family in Staffordshire and Will's family in Wales needs to be balanced with his need to travel regularly to London for work. So they've decided Wiltshire would be the best fit.
We're looking at what I call the M4 corridor. Part of the reason is, for me, it's for commuting. I want to look at either Didcot, Swindon, if you go south down towards Pewsey, anywhere which is basically an hour to an hour and a half commute into Paddington.
As Will plans to travel back to London during the week, and live his rural dream at the weekends, it's important for Mel that their country home is close to a community.
My concerns about moving out to the country are probably based on isolation, just worrying about not necessarily knowing anybody instantly around there.
I'd love to be a part of a community. I think it's quite important. So
I think you have to be to live in a...
Yeah, you know, I'm not saying you should be in a women's institute, but...
Good, because I wouldn't be.
While the WI might not be Mel's thing, she's got plenty of other ideas for integrating with the locals and breathing the fresh country air.
In terms of spare time, I many years ago used to play golf, and apparently quite well, so that is something I'd quite like to get back into. I also, much to my husband's annoyance, love reading. Have been known to get on the back of a horse, but I would certainly consider doing that again. Tennis. So yes, open to many sort of options, really.
So it's sport or a book club for Mel, but frustrated farmer Will, on the other hand, has other ideas about where to meet his new neighbours.
Yes, I'd like to be within a walking distance of a village pub. That could be 10, 15 minutes. Obviously, depending how long it takes to get back is another story. But
With their house currently on the market, they have a clear idea of how much they have to spend on their next property.
The maximum budget is £900,000.
Will and Mel's preferred location would give them good access to the M4 corridor, so Will can travel into London for work. We all met up in the county to discuss the finer details of their move to the country. So Will and Mel, ready to give up life in London and move here to Wiltshire?
I hope so, yes.
So what are we looking for ideally with this property? Come on, remind us.
Outside space, certainly an acre to an acre and a half minimum, probably 2, it would be really good. 3/4 bedrooms. Certainly you wanted a decent-sized kitchen, didn't you?
Absolutely, and I think the problem we've got at the moment is we've got a bit top-heavy, so we've got 4 bedrooms at home, but lacking entertaining space, so more sort of reception room area downstairs would be good too.
And I'm intrigued about this land. What are you going to do with this land? Actually, I don't know why I'm looking at you, Mel, because I think this could be Will's dream.
Well, OK, maybe a little bit of sort of hobby farming. I think you've got to be open to any kind of idea that you could get involved with the local community as well.
So we've selected 3 houses to show you. I say houses and not farms, note. One, of course, is our mystery property, which is going to be something a little bit different that you might not have considered yourself. So should we get going?
Absolutely.
For their generous budget of £900,000, Will and Mel want to live the rural dream in a large, characterful house with loads of reception areas for entertaining, a large kitchen, a study for Will, 4 bedrooms and a couple of acres of land so they can keep some livestock. We found 3 fantastic properties to tempt them with, and at each one I'll be asking them to guess the price before I reveal it. The last will be our mystery house, which could really bring out the party animals in them. But first on our agenda, of course, is house number 1. You're both very strong characters. It's going to be interesting to see if you agree when it comes to looking at property.
I think there'll be a lot of stuff I will disagree with Mel, and it's just a question of compromise. But isn't that what marriage is about as well?
What, for Mel?
Yeah.
I think we're going to have fun, I really do.
We'll try not to bicker too much.
2 women against me.
We've made the journey to the North Wiltshire village of Purton, around 6 miles northwest of Swindon, which has good train links into London. The community offers a range of everyday amenities and includes a Grade 1 listed church, a library and a post office, along with a choice of pubs for Will to share a pint with the locals at the weekends. In the heart of the village lies this Grade 2 listed Georgian property. Through the gate, down the garden path, to our very first property here in Wiltshire.
It's a good, solid-looking house.
Very pretty, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a very good-looking house for a village house.
It sort of stands alone,
Yeah.
isn't it? Quite imposing,
It's
I
handsome.
think. Yeah. Should we go in the house?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
We've got a very good first reaction to the stature of this period house, and I'm sure they'll find the interior equally special. So, come straight through. Pretty impressive door and entrance,
Yeah.
isn't it? So this house is Grade 2 listed, but it's been renovated. It was renovated, well, first of all, around the 19th century, and then the current owners have done a lot of work to this property.
I love the stairways as well, actually.
So we'll start through
Excellent.
with the drawing room. Certainly a very light room today.
Yeah. Good square room.
I like the fact you can see all the way down to the garden,
Yeah.
and you have a great view into the walled garden at the front.
With floor-to-ceiling windows and a very impressive fireplace.
It is. As it were.
Not working, mind you.
It's not. You can open it up.
Fine.
Next door, got the same size room that does have a working fire.
Perfect.
Yeah. Right, well, we will continue. Quite a muted response to this reception area, but as we head to the back of the house, we pass the dining room, a space that Will and Mel, who love to entertain, might use on many an occasion. So the dining room leads through to this kitchen.
Right.
Love this. If I had been slightly negative, a little bit small in the kitchen.
Right.
And the dining room, whether you could knock this all into
you
one.
join it into one? I'm not
Well,
sure
it's
you
grade 2
could.
listed, you said, so whether you could knock it into two.
Anything like that you'd need to look at and get the
planning.
permission for, but there is scope. I mean, the kitchen at the moment, as it is quite a modern kitchen.
Yes.
Because as kitchens go, actually, to the average person,
It's
it's pretty
not
big.
bad.
It's,
Yeah.
you know,
No, agreed.
You've also got a larder through there, a large larder as well.
like
We like larders.
Right, well, should we head upstairs?
yes, love to. Love to.
Will might not be sure about the size of the kitchen as it stands, but as we head upstairs, they'll find there's a great deal of space on the first floor, which has 3 bedrooms as well as a study area. But we'll take a look at the master. So, again, another really
light.
Yeah.
Really light room. Amazing views that way.
Lovely views.
With this room, you do have the space, relatively high ceilings, you know, again, floor-to-ceiling windows. It's got its ensuite next door, which is of a really good size. But this is one of 5 bedrooms.
5.
5. Now, because the house was extended 100, 200 years ago, it does have a lot of character.
Working through
Yeah.
corridors and things.
Absolutely.
That's fine.
You've also got an additional 2 bedrooms upstairs to make the 5. And they're actually in the eaves. You've got an ensuite, a family bathroom and a shower room and a toilet upstairs. So plenty of facilities for all your friends. So do you like it?
Yes, I think it's a good size.
Good. Sun's still shining. Let's head back outside. A little bit more to show you. We've also got to talk price.
Oh, yes.
This is a property that just keeps on giving. And to serve their entertaining ambitions, there's a wine cellar too. In addition to the main house, outside there's a 1-bedroom cottage, which comes with its own modern kitchen and a good-sized bathroom, as well as a stunning living room with exposed beams. What's more, there are a total of 4 garages out here, but it's the garden that, for me, holds real appeal. Now, just look at this. I think this is absolutely fabulous. The back of the garden is so impressive.
Yeah. Great
really
view.
lovely. So the total plot is 1.5 acres, but that includes, you know, the buildings, the footprint of those. And you can see actually the boundary wall, it's the dry stone wall at the end.
There's a lot of gardening to be done here.
If that idea about being a farmer, fantasy farmer, really appeals, and after 6 months and doing that commute, you think, I do have the time,
Yeah.
you could talk to your local farmer about the possibility of
Behind that
renting
wall.
that land.
Yeah.
Something else just to add into the mix.
Definitely.
Should we get straight to the money?
Why not?
How much is it on the market for, Mel?
850
Okay.
for £850,000.
Okay.
Oh, let's say 810.
810 and 8.
50. I'm going to have got this so wrong.
The asking price for this property, you're both out actually, but Mel, you are the closest, £895,000.
So just in budget.
So why don't you have another look around?
Yep.
You can think about that price as well and what you get for this house, and I'll catch up with you when you're ready.
Okay.
Please
Thank
do. See you later.
Bye.
Thank you. Under budget at £895,000, this substantial Georgian house in the heart of the village is well located for Will's commute and offers a large kitchen, 3 reception rooms, 5 bedrooms with another in a separate cottage, all set on a well-maintained plot of 1.5 acres.
My initial impression of the house was, yes, very good sized bedrooms and a good number of bedrooms with a balanced proportion of bathrooms as well. The location of this property is perhaps not what we originally anticipated we'd look for, but it's certainly due consideration.
Great entrance, love the reception rooms. My problem is probably with the dining room stroke kitchen. You know, being a grade 2 listed house, could you actually turn around and knock the walls down? Jury's out now, I guess. You know, let's see the next house and see how we go from there.
OK. Happy? Have you seen enough?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Very interesting. Good start.
Yeah, excellent. And that's only the first house.
That's very true.
Many of Wiltshire's historic towns and villages date back to Saxon times and prospered thanks to its position on main trade routes to the west of the country from London. The market town of Chippenham was once the site of a Saxon royal forest. Its advantageous location on the River Avon gave its mills a ready-made source of water power for when the wool industry was at its peak here in the 15th century. Given the area's wool heritage and our buyer's farming ambitions, we've arranged for Will and Mel to meet Jane Calloway, the owner of a 150-acre organic farm, which is home to her striking multi-horned rare breed sheep.
So, Jane, any tips for anybody sort of considering doing this, sort of a small holding? What would be your
Well, it depends whether you are actually considering a small holding or how big you consider a small holding to be, or whether you want to go farming.
Right.
So I've got Manx Lockton, which is a primitive rare breed. And if you're starting up not knowing anything about sheep or lambing, then a rare breed is quite a good place to start, in that they're hardy, they're healthy, and if you have a pedigree flock, in that you're not crossing 2 breeds, then the lambs will be the right size for the ewes, so you will have much easier lambing.
Before Jane started to farm her sheep as a novice in the mid-1990s, she researched rare breeds, particularly those termed at risk and in need of support. She also attended a multitude of courses on farming subjects, from lamb feeding to butchery, a good tip for Will and Mel, who are getting a closer look at the flock.
You can see that they've got these lovely chocolate faces and coffee fleeces, and these are predominantly 2-horned ewes.
And how many sheep do you use to an acre?
Well, it'll say in all the books 4 to an acre, but that doesn't allow for clean grazing and for making hay. So I would say 2 to an acre. The best way to maintain sound sheep is to split your acreage, so that you graze them over one half and then you take hay or you clean it somehow with other livestock on the other half, and then you rotate it round. I mean, the Manx Lockton, they're lovely sheep. I mean, they're not the easiest of sheep in that they jump like stags. So you've got to have wonderful fencing, and you've got to keep a lot of good grass ahead of them, or else they'll actually just jump out and find it elsewhere.
As well as the award-winning quality of its meat, one of the main attractions of the Manx Lockton is its highly prized fleece. It's this rich variation from a deep chocolate to a milky coffee colour that makes the fleece popular for everything, from rugs to jumpers.
You can see here, these are some byproducts from the flock. My feeling is that you have to use everything from the sheep out of respect for the animal. The wool goes to the wool board or to organic spinners, and we produce these beautiful sheepskins. A lot of skins come in from overseas, all over the world, and there are very few UK sheepskins really that are produced in this country. It's the pleasure of having things made from your own wool.
Will and Mel have been given a real insight into the work involved in looking after livestock, but now it's time to continue their property search. We've hopped over the border into West Berkshire and close to the village of Lambourne, in the area of chalk downland known as the Lambourne Downs. Along with the everyday amenities such as a large local store, there's a Norman church and a traditional pub. It's also a renowned centre for national hunt racehorse training, so naturally there are a number of saddlers too. Our second house is 2 miles away on the edge of the village of Eastbury. Built around the turn of the 20th century, it's in a fabulous location, surrounded by idyllic countryside.
And here is house number 2. Very different from the first property we showed you. So, Will, come on, what are you thinking?
I'm undecided. I can't see the front and I can't see the back, so it's very difficult to make a judgment.
Yep, open-minded?
Completely.
For the time being, yes.
Right, we will start.
Perfect.
Despite Will's initial doubts, I do hope that he and Mel give this house a fair viewing, as it has a great deal to offer in terms of space for entertaining.
So, with this property, when you come through the front door, you've got 2 reception rooms either side. One's being used as a bedroom. This is a good-sized dining room.
Certainly bigger than the last one.
Yeah.
It's like more like a proper dining room as well somehow.
Yes, I know what you mean. And this house has plenty of entertaining spaces. Follow me
Perfect.
through here. So as you can probably see, you've actually got 6 reception rooms downstairs. 6. So you've got a fantastic sunroom next door and purpose-built study there. And then you've got the kitchen and through there. I mean, would that be convenient for you? Would you get use out of that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a definite positive.
And what about the house so far? I mean, you've only seen half of downstairs.
I'm not convinced still, unfortunately.
Not quite hitting the mark.
No.
I think I just need to see the rest of the house. before I can
Again,
make
yeah,
a judgment.
Okay, good point. Well, let's
Yeah.
continue.
In spite of the raft of reception areas at the front of the property, they still need persuading. So let's see if the kitchen set up at the back of the house is one that meets with their approval.
So you've got a utility room and a downstairs cloakroom next door to your very long kitchen. Only recently been refitted.
Quite long and skinny.
Carry on, I'd say. Sorry, it's still not settling me.
I mean, all the units, come and have a look, all the units have been replaced, redone. You've got granite work surfaces. You've got another utility room there, and it leads on to, I think, a splendid conservatory, which at the moment is being used as a dining room.
Yes, that is lovely.
It's much lighter.
Still the jury's out?
Yeah, it hasn't jumped out at me.
Well, it sounds like the house hasn't quite won you over yet. A little bit of work to do. Let's see what you think about the upstairs.
This house still has some impressing to do. Upstairs there are 4 bedrooms, 2 good-sized doubles with cast-iron fireplaces, which is also a feature in the single room. And they all share a charming family bathroom with freestanding bath. But I'm going to show them where they could be sleeping.
So this is your master.
Lighter. Again.
It's not grabbing me, if I'm
Just-
honest.
If you look at this as a master bedroom, and it's got a good size ensuite, you know, that's your view every day.
I mean, that is an amazing view.
Yeah.
It's a great view. There's potential here, but you need some love.
It has great living accommodation. Might not be right for you, but there's plenty of scope
absolutely,
there.
yeah.
But let's head outside because I know the land's really important.
Fine.
See what you think of that.
Perfect.
So it would seem that the land is our last chance to win them round to this property. And I don't think they can ask for more than what's on offer here. There's a huge lawn as well as a few extras for our frustrated farmer.
You wanted acres? We've got 2.5 acres here. As you can see, you've got 3 paddocks.
Yeah.
You've got the stable block, which currently can take 3 horses, plus a tack room.
I mean, like I said, if we suddenly decide to start riding, you know, you can have 1 paddock here for a horse, and if you want to put a few sheep or chickens, so be it. You know, you've got a bit more scope.
Right, OK. Well, let's talk money then, see if that surprises you or not. How much do you think this house with the 2.5 acres is on the market for?
So I'm going to go $850.
OK, then what about you, Mel?
795.
OK,
Role reversal.
let's see, eh? Asking price is £850,000.
There's your premium.
So you are actually spot on. So take another look,
Okay.
check out the grounds, and we'll talk in a little while.
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well within their budget at £850,000, this turn-of-the-century property has everything Will and Mel asked for. There's a total of 6 reception rooms, a study, 4 bedrooms, and just over 2.5 acres of land, with paddocks and stables for their small holding ambitions.
Yep, good house. I just think the problem as far as we're concerned is the number of smaller reception rooms rather than having perhaps one large reception room. I just think in terms of internal entertaining space, it just perhaps wouldn't work for Will and I.
Yeah, the land is definitely a positive point.
And I join an expert truffle hunter on the trail of the finest fungus.
Will and Mel are desperate to leave the capital, and with £900,000 burning a hole in their pocket, want to find a new home here in Wiltshire. Now, yesterday we showed them 2 charming properties, neither of which seem to hit the mark. And what's become apparent is they're after an impressive country pad, but within a farm-like environment with outbuildings and acres of land. A combination that's really hard to find, even on their budget. So today we're changing tack with the mystery house. We're concentrating on their social lives because this home is all about entertaining.
Our mystery house lies just 4 miles south of Swindon in the large village of Wroughton. It's extremely convenient for Will to catch the train into London, but is also surrounded by beautiful countryside. Wroughton is served by a village hall and a couple of pubs. It's all within walking distance of our mystery house, which challenges Will to ditch his farming aspirations and focus on socialising. This sympathetically modernised property isn't the Georgian country mansion with land that they've asked for, but it's got hidden selling points in its favour.
So here is your third and final property, the mystery house.
I'm not quite sure what I'm going to say to this yet, but one thing I know before we even walk in there, because it's relatively new, it's going to probably be a great layout.
Built in 1960, but I don't think you would recognise the original house, is the honest truth, because in 2007 the owner completely gutted it, renovated it, extended it, has done so much work. But when it comes to entertaining, well, let's step inside.
Proof in the pudding.
I think Will and Mel still need some convincing. Hopefully it won't take long once they step through the front door into this immaculate house.
So let's start off with what I think, pretty impressive hallway.
I wouldn't disagree.
Is this what
Light.
you expected from outside?
I wasn't going to sure what I was going to see inside. I mean, anything could have happened in here, so I know you're going to hate me for saying this. You're going to hate the stairs.
I love the way you start off so positively.
No.
Kitchen, kitchen. No, you can't knock this as a kitchen.
No.
It's
lovely kitchen.
really impressive.
You've got walnut units, Korean work surfaces, including sort of the breakfast bar there. Handmade, all designed specially for this house.
I've also noticed we walked in, all the remote controls on the walls now. I have no idea, but judging by the fact you've got speakers around here, it's obviously got all the mod cons in here.
Everything, all controlled by a panel behind me. But the whole idea with this property is that you love entertaining, you're really social, and this house hopefully will really deliver for you on that front.
Come on, show us around the corner.
Come on,
I'm
then.
interested.
So imagine with all your friends sitting here, a bottle of wine, very social.
I think it's amazing.
I just think probably kitchens are probably half the price of the house.
Impressed?
Overly impressed with
Yeah.
the kitchen, to be honest with you.
So you've got all of this space here, and then through those doors is, well, at the moment it's a sitting room, but it can be a cinema room. I mean, I'm thinking boy den.
I'm thinking Saturday afternoon, no disturbance.
At the football, or the cricket, or the rugby.
Rugby.
I knew he was going to say
Perfect.
that.
Shut yourself away with it all.
You like that, don't you? Look at the
yeah,
smile on that face.
Absolutely. I've got my wine fridge. He's got his boys den.
The thought of getting rid of him. Dear. There's a staircase just to the left, a spiral staircase that goes up. Up there, you've got a bedroom and a bathroom. It's an ensuite, really. But if you wanted your guests to use that facility,
Okay.
they can. Everything's been thought of.
Yes. Price will be interesting.
He looks disappointed because he can't find anything to criticise. But hey, shall we continue?
Sure.
I'm very glad that we've managed to meet Will's very exacting standards with this property. And on this floor there's even more for he and Mel to love, including a utility room just off the kitchen as well as a generous study. And to the other side of the hall, there are two more fantastic entertaining areas. A sitting room which flows onto a sunroom with views of the garden. We're going to take a look upstairs, which is equally spacious.
So here we have the master bedroom, and it is en suite. So upstairs, this part of the property, you've got 4 double bedrooms, including this one, 2 of which are en suite with a family bathroom. What about the actual upstairs of the property? You've got 5 bedrooms in total, which I know is more than you asked for.
That's fine then, the more the merrier in my book.
Loving the balcony outside here too.
Yeah.
Interestingly, I'm kind of pleasantly surprised, I think.
Our mystery house has certainly done its job so far, but outside is where Will and Mel may have to compromise if they really love this house. While it has a very large lawn with decking, the nearest place for them to rent some land for a small holding would be a couple of miles up the road.
So, you've got a really mature garden here. I mean, I think this garden is absolutely fantastic. Well, I'm guessing for the 2 of you with the dogs, probably enough grounds here to keep you busy.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk money now. Yeah. Is it difficult to gauge?
Yes.
Yes. I'm going to say 995.
Okay. What about you, Will?
I'm going to go 940.
Okay. So you both think it's over your budget?
Yeah.
Well, your top budget is £900,000. The good news is you get £5,000 change. Asking price, £895,000. It's a lot of house, isn't it?
It's a lot of house. It's definitely worthwhile thinking about. The word compromise, I think, probably comes into the equation.
Oh, you
That's
do.
shocked you, hasn't it?
That's normally my line. I like that, Will. Go and have another look around. Think about it. Think about the location, how it could work for you for work. Check out the grounds. Take as long as you like. I'll catch up with you in a minute.
Okay.
Well, the mystery house may have pulled it out of the bag once again.
Under budget at £895,000, our mystery proposition has made them completely reevaluate the lifestyle they want their country home to give them. This modern party pad provides huge flowing reception areas in which all their friends can congregate, a sleek bespoke kitchen, a study, 5 bedrooms and manageable grounds with a deck terrace.
So the mystery house, I think, put us both in a bit of a quandary because it's the complete opposite of anything that we thought we might like. It offers a fantastic entertaining space, which I think is both what we were essentially looking for, and at the same time it's got a great balance of bedrooms and reception rooms.
I have to say, it's something I actually love in an extraordinary sense, for having wanted to move out to the country, you've kind of got a little bit of the London sort of lifestyle still here in the country, so you get the best of both worlds. So it's going to be a difficult choice.
Look at your faces. Well, that was certainly a different tour from yesterday, wasn't it?
Yes. Where do we start? I think we're going to have a bit more time to think about this.
Okay. Well, we can take you somewhere quiet and gather your thoughts, have a chat, and then you can tell me what you think.
Wiltshire's beautiful and varied countryside is characterised by acres of ancient woodland and rolling chalk hills, and is famed for the largest number of chalk hill carvings in the UK, with 8 white horses to see, the oldest and highest being on Westbury Hill. It's this chalky landscape and the alkaline content of the soil that makes the county the perfect breeding ground for a much sought-after delicacy normally associated with France and Italy, the truffle. I've come to a secret woodland location to meet chef and expert truffle hunter Roger Jones to find out more about how to track down this highly prized fungus.
So, Roger, what exactly is a truffle?
Well, I mean, it's a fungi, so it's a type of mushroom, in a sense, but it's not a mushroom. It grows underneath the ground, as opposed to a mushroom which grows on top. Truffles we find, which are the most common in France and in England, are the summer truffles, and they're sort of charcoal greyish throughout, and they've got a lovely hazelnutty taste to it. When you cook with it, you get a lovely aroma coming out of it.
And this part of the world, in Wiltshire, can it produce a big crop? Can you harvest a big crop here?
Substantial, I mean 20 or 30 kilos a week.
So, Roger, we're standing here in this cop. Is there a chance that we might be able to find a truffle for me today?
I hope so.
OK, well, let's get started. Let's hope we strike some black gold.
Records show that truffle hunting has been practiced in the UK for the past 2 centuries. A royal warrant was held by a family business in Wiltshire up until the 1930s. It was run by a man called Alfred Collins, who used dogs to sniff out truffles in the woods near Winterslow.
But what we're looking for, if you look over there, that tree over there, that sort of slightly moss effect around the base, that gives me a clue that could have truffles on it.
Now, what am I looking for exactly? How am I going to know there's a truffle underneath?
It's basically feeling for golf balls. Once you find one, basically you do a circle then from the tree and we'll just find lots of them, hopefully.
And are they hard or soft?
Hard, rock solid. So what you don't want to do is dig. So
right.
If you look where I've just been there's nothing touched at all.
So don't disturb, just feel.
So you're just feeling.
Truffle season is at its peak in October and November, and they're at their best within 2 to 3 days of being unearthed. These summer truffles cost around £100 a kilo, though other rarer varieties can fetch thousands.
Is that one?
I think that would be a truffle.
God, and that was really close to the surface.
So you see what's happened here? This one was there, so we'll find another one in between these two now. So if you put that back where it was, we just need to line up. There we are. So you will find them in this
So sometimes they're buried and sometimes they are literally right on the surface.
Absolutely. Here's another one here. So again, it's in that same circle.
You are so good at this. Is that one?
There you are.
That was literally like that. I mean, that really is remarkable how many we've found in, what, a few hours?
Well, I think we've done very well with the truffle hunting.
We're going to start cooking with them?
Yeah.
Excellent. Can't wait to have a taste. Thanks, Roger.
These summer truffles are used to flavour a variety of dishes, including risottos and soups. They're best served raw or slightly warmed. I'm going to taste some grated on a piece of turbot.
And what you will need is just a tiny bit of sea salt, Welsh of course, and a bit of olive oil. So the olive oil is to give it a bit more texture, extra virgin olive oil.
Delicious. So here we have it with the turbot. It's difficult to explain the taste. That really brings out the fish.
Yeah.
Well, I can now say I've hunted and tasted pure Wiltshire truffles. And guess what? They were absolutely delicious. But it's time now to find out if any of our 3 properties have hit the spot with Will and Mel. We've had a wide range of reactions, shall we say, to the 3 properties that we've shown you.
Yes.
Let's start with that first house, set in beautiful grounds.
Yes, I mean, I think we both love the symmetry of it and the fact that the front garden was enclosed and therefore safe. Great house. I think our reservation possibly was the size of the kitchen and the dining room. But other than that, lovely house.
Yeah, and from my point of view, obviously, I still have a little bit of an issue of the outside space. Lovely, but just for my liking, not quite there.
So there's a very strong start. We then moved across, actually, into West Berkshire to see our next property. I just didn't get the same reaction with this house, did I, from you?
Yes, I don't think it grabbed either one of us, actually, as soon as we sort of walked into the driveway.
What about the actual house itself and the layout? Because that had, plenty of reception rooms.
But they were all quite small and separate. There was no sort of natural flow through that house, I just didn't feel. And it was quite dark as well, which I couldn't see an instant solution to.
It had the land that we didn't quite achieve with the first property, didn't it?
Absolutely. It had the 2.5 acres. It just didn't sit well, unfortunately.
Which brings us to the mystery house. Back into the county of Wiltshire, and then something, well, completely different.
Yes, you certainly threw us a curveball here.
It's an amazing space. And
Yeah.
the reception rooms and the gadgets and the kitchen, which is just to die for.
So in a way, with the mystery, we always set out to show you something different, perhaps change the way you live your lives, the way you look at your new life in the country. Did we achieve that with that property?
Oh, yes.
Ooh, have we got close?
There would be compromises that would have to be made, but it has completely thrown the balls up in the air in terms of what Will and I were, well, at least thought we...
I अच्छा भैया, हमार बहुत गाना आप लोग सुनला और प्यार दुलार देला। ए जैसे हम गायक शैलेंद्र कनौजिया आप लोगन के गोड़ छू के गोड़ लगातानी और पूरा विश्वास बा कि यहो गीत के उहे प्यार दुलार दी है जौना प्यार दुलार पहलका एल्बम के दिले रहने जा।